What's up, profitable stylist? Here we go. We're going to be talking about the power of marketing on social media. We had our special guest last week, Master Jude Grayson. He was kind enough to spend the time and really break it down in great detail, explain to us what was going on. So this week, we're going to go through our breakdown of what we was doing last week. Morning, Bernard.
We're going to help Eddie understand what happened last week.
Yeah. I was really paying attention. Yeah. I was really absorbing. I was listening and absorbing a lot of all of it, actually, last week.
And I think this is perfect. Because the first time I listened to Jude, I just call him Jude. In the karate world, he is Master Grayson. They're like the military, you know, they have these titles and he's a so many level black belt. So they have to, address him like that. But for us as friends, I just call him Jude. And I just want to say that he's been, in just casual conversations talking about how he uses Facebook to help his business. And it happens to be in conjunction with the profile on the page. And I realized after we got off the call last time when I talked with you a little bit, you were kind of in the place where I was in our first few conversations, me and him, where you're like, it all does make sense. Sounds like it'd be great. But a week later, let's be honest, you haven't used your profile at all in conjunction with your page. So you didn't completely get it. And that's
Not the
fine.
Right way. Yeah.
So what I'd like to do today is personally explain to you how I understand it, how it worked for me. That way you get to hear it again, kind of from my perspective. And you'll be kind of like the listener out there, the hairdresser, who's like, yeah, I saw that thing last week and I don't get it. Or I think I get it, or I haven't done it. So I want to explain to you how it would actually help your business. And then the hairdresser will also get it. So the challenge is that most hairdressers do everything through a Facebook profile, or they're doing it through Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok, and they don't believe in Facebook. So the statistics out there are still that there are more people in the world on Facebook than any other social media. Mm-hmm. That's just a fact. Whether you believe it or like it or not, Facebook is still number one. And then most likely, your customers, my customers, are on Facebook because they're a little bit older and have money. Now, I am of that age group that would be on Facebook more. So if a new 20, 30-year-old hairdresser or a early to mid-20 hairdresser is getting into social media, they're not going to pick Facebook first. I get that because I teach classes just like you all the time, and they all of a sudden they're friending me on Facebook, and I see they have one picture in their profile pictures or two. Because the ones that have been on Facebook for a little while, you can click on their profile picture and then you can go like this and see like 30 pictures since they've been on in high school, But most new people on Facebook who are mid-20s to 30s and they're just getting started, they don't even have much of a profile presence, probably a lot like you. You probably got one picture. No old pictures.
It's not even a picture I took. It's a picture somebody else took of me sitting at a show backstage, and they're like, dude, this is your... Actually, I remember exactly. It was a model looked me up to friend me at the show because she liked the way I did her hair, and She goes, your profile picture is dumb. Sit down. I'm going to take a picture of you. We're going to update your thing. She had to help me reset my... I didn't even know what my password was.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. And that's fine. But the way, and the funny thing is, right after that thing last week, I'm basically trying to say a profile is for personal, and a page is for business. Mm-hmm. So, and you need both of them. But most hairdressers still to this day have just a profile, and they're posting everything about work. Come see me, come get your hair done. And this is my dog. And we went on vacation this weekend. And I have an opening today at 2. And I'm going to the zoo this evening. And that's fine. A lot of people like to know your personal and your business life. But ironically, right after our thing last week, within a day or two, I was wanting to get grass for my backyard. And I put a post out there saying, I'd like to pay this much money if somebody would be or up to 4 people would be willing to come out and help me lay some sod in my backyard. And this hairdresser in Maryland got mad at me and said, she put on there, "Is this a joke?" And I'm like, "What? Am I not paying enough?" It was like $100 per person till we're done putting 7 pallets down. And I said, "Am I not paying enough?" She said, "No. Why would you post something personal like this on your business profile or page," or whatever she called it? And she got me for a second. I looked, I'm like, I thought.
Your phone's breaking up again. So you're trying to say she mistook your personal profile as a page because most stylists don't have a business page made. And I understand what you're saying with that. I'm just waiting for you to come back. You probably ain't going to hear anything I'm saying right now. I'm going to have to repeat myself. But I discovered that happened because nowadays when I go on Google and I search something and I click on the link, I'm expecting to go to a website. I end up on Facebook and I'm on a business page on Facebook and I'm like, where is the website for you freaking people? But that is actually the website nowadays. Are you back now? Is your phone back now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, so yeah. So you cut out when you were saying the stylist from Maryland got mad at you and said, "Why you posting personal information on your profile?" She thought that was your page.
Right. So, and the fact is, most people don't understand the difference between them. But because I've been a hairdresser for so long, had a Facebook profile for so long, I had a Facebook profile before they had pages and had groups. And so that's kind of what everybody did. They just started a Facebook place. And then when Facebook realized people wanted to start doing their businesses there, they said, you know what? Let's start Facebook pages for businesses. And that's when they kind of separated it, and you had to try to understand or know. And a lot of people don't, like you're saying. So now people will use a Facebook page like their website. They'll just use Facebook instead of a website. And you're right. You can do a Google search and you end up, I was wondering why you were saying that. I didn't realize I froze there.
Your phone froze up, yeah.
But right. So now, because I started years ago traveling the country teaching, hairdressers would friend request me. I would accept them. Then you start business pages. You try to do your business over there. Some hairdressers still see some of my business stuff because I'll share it. I'm proud of my work. And so I'll brag about something, but I don't post like, come get your hair done. I don't post prices. I try not to do the website page stuff on the profile, but you do brag about what you do sometimes because that is who we are. I am a hairdresser. So I want my friends and family to know that, but the hairdressers across the country that are there, that's the only things they see and are interested in. So they only see the business stuff. They don't care that I need grass in the backyard. They don't care that I'm swimming in the pool with my son or that I went to the zoo. So when they see the business post, they interact with that. That's what they so then all of a sudden they mistakenly think it's a business page, and it's not. And so now I'm trying to educate hairdressers to understand the difference between the two and the benefits. Because for a long time, I didn't want a business page either. I thought, let's just do it all through a profile because I can friend request. Getting people to like my page, I felt like was harder at the time. But it's not harder because there's one little button that says, who would you like to invite to like your business page? And it shows you your friend list, and it says you can do them individually, or it says select all. Well, in the beginning, you just select all, and people that are interested in your business will like the page. So now you start down an avenue of having one of each, and you decide how you're going to manage them. So before you get too big, and I'm going to explain this to you, and of course, if I freeze, take over. But I want to explain this to you. You're running a little bit bigger of a business, and you're doing the page. And what's happening is, I'm going to give you this one little nugget that we did all last week is what we talked about. And this is what changed everything for me. Everything you posted last week on the page, any one of the pages you're involved in, let's just take Hair's the Bling, for example. I'm going to give you just one small example that would help you. Let's say somebody I happen to know that you know also, Robert Reed, the owner of Ergo Styling Products. He's trying to sell flat irons, the hot razor, the brushes, ergonomically correct tools. You teach for him, he teaches for himself, and you did something on Hair's the Bling where I saw him talking and teaching. Now, you can go to that post. Now, here's the challenge. Here's the Bling page. If it's a private page, you might not be able to share the post.
Right.
Because that one happens to be a group. But when you do it on the Here's the Bling page, not the private group, but the public page, if you have it saved anywhere and you did the Ergo interview with him and it was on the more public page, then the share button pops up under his name, where you can share the video, the training, the teaching, the talking he did. And so somehow, if you do or don't, you need to get it on the page, so that the public page, so you can do this. So now you click share at the bottom right-hand corner. And normally Facebook's going to assume you want to share that to your own personal wall. So as soon as you hit share, it says, do you want to say something? Type some words. Instead of typing some words and just sharing it like my mom does everything I post. She shares anything and everything I do because she's my mom, you know? Our moms tend to like everything we do, no matter how good or bad it is. And it'll just automatically share it to her page, her wall, her profile wall. But this is where we get a little tricky and we turn it into a bit of marketing. You'll take that post that you trying to share from Here's the Bling's page, public page, okay, and that's what the hairdressers should have. You can hit share, and immediately it's going to give you options. And one, it says more options at the bottom. So then you hit more options, and basically copying that whole post is the choice. Press copy. Now it's just saved. You know, I don't know where copy saves, but you get paste, copy, and paste.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just copy. It's ready to be pasted somewhere. So this is when you take this bomb that you're ready to put somewhere, and you go now to your personal profile. You just go down to the left, click on the house, I think it is, and then you click on your face. There you are. That's your wall. That's the stuff that whenever you post personal stuff, that's where it ends up. That's all your personal stuff. But the thing that people have been able to do for a long time that they don't do as much anymore is they can post on your wall also. That's usually where people tell you happy birthday. They go on your wall and it says, Shannon is telling Eddie Ohanian happy birthday. And it's on your wall, but she posted it there. So now what I'm saying is you're on your wall. So from your wall, you go now up to the top search bar and find Robert Reed, because he has a personal profile also. And so you go up to Robert Reed's personal profile, click on it, and you go to wish him happy birthday. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to write something on his wall. Now it's going to say Eddie is writing something to Robert. And there is where you go to make a post, like you're going to write something on his wall, and you hit paste. And the whole ad or interview or whatever happened on the page world gets posted on his wall. So what that does, what hairdressers can do, is take the before and after picture, the whatever they did, and go and paste that on their customer's wall. Instead of hoping the customer shares it on their wall and tells all their friends that they got their hair done by you, you can tell all their friends that you did their hair by going to their wall. So there's the... Go ahead.
Maybe I had an aha moment. So then on my page, I could just I could generate the post once. And then at that point, I'm just copying it, pasting it 20 other or 3 other places, however many other places. And I just need to put a quick notation in there. Whereas right now, for example, I'm in 3 different groups, right? So I'm individually creating the post 3 times, 3 unique separate times. I'm not doing it one time and sharing it. I'm doing the same thing 3 times, and it's really annoying.
But you could share it.
But I could have just made it once and shared it twice.
Well, the share button is not available when you are private or secret. Okay. So that's what, like, just a little side note. When you and I do stuff, and you're like, where should we do it beforehand? I always want to do stuff in the Profitable Stylist page because it's a public or group, because we got both of those public, and the share button will be there. Then we can share it into a private group.
That's why you're always saying that. I just thought you were lazy. Yeah. I didn't realize you were efficient. Okay, now it makes sense.
No. So the benefit. So let's follow this example through, because I think you should actually do this for Robert Reed. So now what this does for you personally, and this is how everybody should be thinking of themselves, getting their face out there in front of more people, show them what they do. So what you can do, because Robert's friends with hairdressers and other educators around the world. And so if you go to copy, to go to share, more options, copy, go to his wall and go to write something. First thing I do is go to write something, and it gives you the copy, share, paste options, and I'll paste. Boom. Everything y'all did, the whole video of the interview you did shows up on his wall. Then I click above everything and go to type, and I say, what a great time I had with you, Robert, during this interview. And when I say, what a great time I had with you, Robert, his name populates, I tag his name, but Robert, whatever Reed comes up, then I backspace a couple times to get rid of his last name.
To Reed, it just says Robert. Yeah, it's more personalized.
More personalized.
I figured that one out now, yeah.
So it tags him, and it's on his wall. So when he goes to his notifications every morning, as we all do, like we're watching the news, or you should be doing, I see all the pages and groups of where the activity is happening that I'm interested. But even if I'm not interested, that notification is going to pop up if I'm Robert Reed. It's going to say, Robert, somebody tagged you. Robert, somebody posted on your wall. So it's twice it's telling him somebody's on your wall. But you know what's really more powerful about that is that everybody else that likes and follows Robert in the friend world, the profile world, the hairdressers that follow him because they care about his personal life, and his mom and his dad and his family members and his aunts and his uncles and cousins and children, that group of people you've never met because you've probably never been to a family gathering that he's had. They all see you now, and they see that he did an interview with you, and they're like, oh, he must be important in Robert's life. Great interview, Robert. Some of those people watched the interview. That's where hairdressers can take, even in their own profile, if they do a before, after picture, whatever, they can share it on, they don't have to have a page necessarily. And I know a lot of hairdressers don't. So before you even get a page, you can still share to the customer's wall. That's where the power of that talk earlier was. Okay. Now, when we do have a page and we have a business page, that's a little bit of a hack where you can take the business world and share it into the personal world. And that's what Jude is a master at. And that's why he's called Master Grayson. That's where he's a master, because he's like, he's explaining to me, now listen, it's potentially a dangerous situation to mix business and personal together. Some people get offended by it. So you have to watch how you do it. You have to watch what words you say. You can't go and say, hey guys, look at these hair extensions I did on Sally's wall. Isn't it amazing? You should come in and get them too. You're basically asking Sally's friends for money. And that's what's inappropriate. So that's what you have to realize is where you're posting it, you have to be a little more sensitive to what's going on. If you go to Robert Reed's wall and post this, it's got to be more like, thank you so much. I really appreciate working with you. You are a rock star, dude. I am so lucky to have been able to do an interview with you. Instead of, hey, Robert's friends and family, I'm Eddie. If I'm the important one, that's what looks stupid. And that's what pisses people off, when it looks like marketing. But if it's sincere, it's not marketing. So I did it in my own salon. I went last week and I looked at all the posts. See, this is the cool thing. This happens after stuff has already been posted. So you salon owners out there, you can do this for anybody that has power to put stuff on your Facebook page as a business. I did it. I went to Onstage Hair Studio and I looked at the last post that was done. It was my salon coordinator. And like I was saying, she put stuff in a certain little arrangement. And I thought, you know what? The first thing that came to mind was, she's so creative. I would never think to do this stuff. The picture looks really good. This is probably helping us sell more retail. And I didn't even realize it. It's right there on Facebook. So I hit share. And then I hit more options. And I copied this. And you know what I did? I went to her personal wall. Melissa, my salon coordinator. And I went to her personal wall. So now whatever I post, her mom and her dad and her family members and her closest friends that comment on all her stupid weekend partying stuff. I'm just saying stupid, so, as an endearing term. But all the personal stuff she does, even if they are stupid and her friends still like her, I'm going to her personal wall. And as a boss, I'm saying, Bernard says to Melissa on her wall, wow, I really love what you do for our salon, kind of thing. I'm like, Melissa, you are so creative and so talented. I love the way you put these arrangements together in the salon. Keep up the good work. We're so glad to have you as our salon coordinator. So then she gets 10 or 15 like, oh my God, girl, you're amazing. You are so creative. You're the greatest. I didn't know you worked at On Stage. So here's where the indirect marketing happens. You know, I was being sincere. I was sincerely thanking her, saying she's creative. I do like her. She is doing a good job. But I just went ahead and gave her the public acknowledgement on Facebook. And so her friends, her family, her mom, her dad, they're like, you go, girl. What a good job you're doing. We're so glad you got that job. Bernard's such a nice guy. That salon, maybe we should visit. You see, so there's the indirect side. And then I went to the next post, and it was Melissa again, but it was about, she was posting a before and after of Vivian's work in our salon. So now I'm saying, hey, Melissa, you didn't tag the client, which is okay, but I'm just trying to perfect it with her. And I go to her personally and I said, hey, when you do a before and after picture, you should be saying, great job, Vivian. Make sure Vivian's name's in there and tag so she sees it. Good job on whoever the client is. Let's say Emily. So now that post is already done. And she's thanking them both and saying, what a good job. Before and after looks good. Color looks good. So then I go and I share more options, copy this whole post. Now, you know what I do? I go to two people's profiles. I go to the hairdresser, Vivian, and Emily's profile. So I go find Vivian in her Facebook world and write on her wall. She's a newer hairdresser in our salon. So I'm saying, you know, we're so glad to have you. It's been nice having you in the salon. Love all the new clients you're bringing in. Your work is amazing. And oh my God, this before and after, this client must be so happy. She looks happy in the picture, whatever my true feelings are at the moment. So now again, her mom and dad and boyfriend and family members are seeing it. Maybe she can't brag about herself because she feels a little self-conscious saying, look at this good work I did, family. But instead I do it as a boss. So now her friends and family are like, oh, that's where you work. Oh, I didn't know. You didn't tell us. She's like, oh, I'm kind of shy, you know. So now her friends and family know where she works, come to get their hair done. I've helped her make more money, which in turn is also helping me make more money. But it's also just building a relationship with a hairdresser, being honest, saying, damn, girl, you are great. And your client looks good. Now, I take that same copied post and go to, what was our client's name? Emily, I think.
Yeah.
I go to Emily's wall. Maybe. So this is where it gets a little tricky. I might not be friends with Emily on Facebook, or her privacy settings might be a little tighter. And she's like, I don't know you, Bernard. I don't want strangers like you writing stuff on my wall. So she might have it blocked. So maybe if I met her in the salon and I didn't come across as creepy and she didn't either, maybe I friend request her if it's appropriate in your world. You know, if you're friends with this girl, you met her in the salon, you're like, oh, we're so glad to have Vivian here. She's such a great hairdresser. And she's like, oh my God, she's been doing my hair for 10 years. Your salon is nice. We were so happy to move with her. It's great. And then I friend request her. She's like, oh, that's the owner of that salon I just met. Not creepy at all. If I friend requested her or she friend requested me, now I can post to her wall. And so then again, I can say, it was so great seeing you in the salon the other day. Your hair looks amazing. But I also pasted what our salon. So she sees that our salon coordinator loved her and the hairdresser and appreciated her. And then I copy and paste it in on her wall and then write some more right above it.
You
saying,
personalized it. Yeah.
Yeah, personalized it to the hairdresser and to the client. So now each person has on average 300 or 400 friends on Facebook. So what I did for my salon, instead of just pasting it to our salon and just having our whatever group of people seeing it, I now increased our marketing traffic to 300 plus 300, 600 more people in two posts in between the two. Now, I can't wear it out. That I can't keep doing it to the hairdresser because the hairdresser, her friends and family, if I do that once or twice a week or a month, that's plenty enough. But the customers are where the endless supply is. you've got hundreds of clients coming through the salon that you can keep going to each one of their walls. Now, you probably don't want to go to their wall every single month and say, she looks good again. She looks good again. That might get a little old. But if you just did it for 1 month and got through all the clients that you do in the salon, that's what Jude was talking about. No salons are doing this, not even us properly. But if a salon popped up and did this, imagine one hairdresser, and I'm going to go on the light side, does, let's just say 5 clients in a day. And you've got 5 hairdressers in there in your salon at 4 or 5. So you got 20 to 25. If you did it for every single client, you've got 20 to 25 posts every day going out to 20 or 25 different people in your town per day. Each one having about 300 friends on Facebook. Some have 100, some have 900, some have 3,000. But imagine the numbers of people at 25 times 300. I don't even have to do that math. And that's each day. By the end of 2 or 3 weeks, anybody in your small town area, because everybody's a friend of a friend. Everybody knows somebody through somebody, maybe through one more person. And so Facebook connects all those people kind of locally. And that's where Facebook is different than Instagram or other social medias. They basically build on who you're actually friends with. You and I travel the country, so our friends tend to be a little more spread out across the country. But most people build their friends right from home, and then a few family members that are around the world, or the few people they meet on vacation. But it's mostly populated with the people that live right around them, because that's where most of their friends and family are. And so when you share to their wall, that's 300 more people, and you do 300 times 25 times 5 days a week, and you do that for 2 or 3 weeks, there's so many thousands of people that you are blowing up on everybody's Facebook feed, and you look like the only salon that exists in that town for that month.
You've created a 3,000 to 5,000 mass mailer piece that we would normally send out for marketing purposes, but now you just done that organically through your own user base, through your own database.
Right.
That's wild.
And that's and that's all free. So that's why I'm saying, like earlier, let's be honest about what you told me. You didn't feel like your personal profile was worthy of helping out with this whole situation.
I didn't. I didn't, yeah.
Yeah, but it is. And I think you thought because most of your friends were just hairdressers and you didn't have this personal world. That's fine, because now the hairdressers that have friended you and you know what? It doesn't even matter if you have 10 friends on Facebook, because it's you going to Robert Reed's friends. That's what's happening. You're taking this Business World Post interview and putting it on there. And so, you know what? Even if you only had 10 friends on Facebook, I bet you when you posted on Robert Reed's wall, he's got more than 300 friends, because he is more famous. He's
popular. Everybody's more popular than I am.
So
yeah, sure.
That's where, especially
that's the power of what you're talking about, though. And all jokes aside, that's really what it's more about. I see what you're talking about.
So watch what happens here. It's crazy on so many levels. So here's the negative side of a personal profile. And this is what Facebook does to limit it from being a business. You can only have 5,000 friends. Okay. When you get to 5,000, it's capped. And that's what I was saying. Last week, this artist from Paris, friend requested me. I hit accept, and it says, you cannot be friends with so-and-so. They've already reached their 5,000 limit. I thought, why is this dude still friend requesting people? Does he not know? I messaged him and sent him a picture of that so he'd know. I don't know who he is or how he heard of me or whatever. Maybe he's just random trying to build his business and doesn't get the difference between a page. And that's the reason why you don't build a business on a profile, because it's going to cap out at 5,000. But being as famous as Robert Reed is, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess, because I haven't gone and looked. But when you go to look, because I haven't hit 5,000 yet either, but I'm going to guess that he's in the thousands of friends. And
sure.
Bet you it's I bet you it's between like 3,500 and 4,000.
Well, he's amazing. I mean, Robert's awesome. He's cool. Yeah. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's supportive. Great business, and he's a freaking cool guy, man. I mean,
he is. So guess what? I know this isn't the reason for it, but we are talking about marketing. But when you share on his wall, he's going to thank you. He's going to say you're great and cool. His friends and family and 3,000 or 4,000 friends are going to be like, who's this Eddie guy? And you're going to get 20 or 30 friend requests over the next week or two. And they're all going to be other hairdressers that respect Robert, and you are actually going to build your fame at the same time. And I know you're not trying to do that, but it's indirectly going to help you also. And then your future income possibilities are going to be bigger. And so that's the power of Facebook. It just on all levels helps everybody when you just get out there and be sincere.
So this is so I can buy you more coffee. This is what this is all about? Is this what I finally figured it out?
I know. I had to drink water today because nobody bought me a coffee last week.
That's really cool. Okay. All right. That makes sense. So we're going to play with this then. I'm going to play with this more then. I'm going to have to do a major update. If anybody out there can help me, wants to volunteer to help me with my profile, I'm open to constructive criticism.
Your pictures have to be from up high. You know that, right?
No, I did not know that. Oh, well, I don't. Yeah, I got to learn how to do a filter. I got to get duck lips. I need lashes. What do I need? I need an outfit.
Look, do you notice that? Watch, I'm going to stand up a little higher. Do you notice that I don't have you looking up towards me like that where you see underneath here? Because most of us have a little more down here than we like. And so I don't know if you ever noticed, but when girls do selfies, they're always like looking up at the camera like this. So I can't believe you don't know this, Eddie. Everybody watching this now is like, Bernard is boring. They all know this. They all know this.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's all the angles. It's all in the angles.
Well, at least straight on even. But as you get a little older, you want to go up a little and come down angle because you look a little younger, a little skinnier, a little better on camera. So that's the start of it. Don't sit your camera on your desk and take a picture of underneath your chin, making your face look bigger than it actually is. So start with a little. And look, you want to cock your head to the side just a little.
Wow. So you have been paying attention to what I tell you at the photo shoots. Okay, thank you. Finally.
Right. So you know about those angles.
I've done 1,000 photo shoots. I know.
Too.
No, I know.
So let's just do one more thing real quick. For those of you a little bit more advanced in this Facebook world, you've heard us talk last week about groups. I would not say a group's super important right at first. It's a lot more to manage. It ends up being 3 places you have to manage kind of. But if you want to get a little advanced, I'm going to give you just a quick little summary of what I think a group is for. And we haven't even done it for my own salon yet, but we have done it for some of our very successful businesses. I support people I teach in hair replacement and hair extensions in 2 different groups. We go out there, teach hair replacement to people across the country, put hair on bald or thinning men and women, and then you enter a hair replacement info group. It's not secret, it's private, because I want people to search hair replacement, see my group, and say, wait, what is this? How do I get in? Oh, you have to learn from me, or at least I have to know that you know what you're talking about before you get in this group, because I want it to be hair replacement educated people, so that if you have problems with an adhesive not working well, or you can't seem to do the haircut and get it to blend well, you then put it in the group. Most of the time I do help answer the questions, but many times before I even get up in the morning, some insomniac hairdressers already typed a long, interesting answer, and I'm like, look at this. The group's helping itself. So we have the same thing for extensions, and Eddie's in that group. We have a hair. What's the name of that group? It's Your Extensions.
Your Extensions group, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's also private instead of secret, so that if you want to share pictures in there, they can't be shared outside the group. That's the protection of the group. We want people to be able to show their before and afters or their challenges. It's just like the big hair stylist education forum that everybody knows about out there. It's just supposed to be hairdressers in there. You show a picture of your client. Whoops, I messed up. How do I get this pink or green out? And people start answering. 400 people answer you on there. Technically, there's no share button. You're not supposed to be able to share it outside of there on Facebook. But some people will screenshot it and then send it to their friends. And that's really frowned upon. It's frowned upon. You're not supposed to do it. So you still have to watch. If you're going to put pictures out there, they could go places. It's not completely protected, but Facebook is trying. So what I would say is, if you're a hairdresser and you've got a profile, you probably should do the business page, although it's not necessary. And then if you're really advanced and you want to move to the next step, my personal opinion that we'll do for our salon in the near future is start a group. And the group would be private or secret, and it would be only for paying Am I frozen?
No, I goofed. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Are we still live?
Yeah, I just really goofed.
All right. So I would use the group for just paying customers. So that way, if I wanted to run a special or something, you want to tell me what's going on? You okay?
No, I just did a technical, really big goof, but we'll deal with it later.
Can everybody still hear us?
Oh no! Everybody heard it and saw what they should not have seen. That stupid freaking. That's live. That's live, people. Look, I don't know what that was, but that's what happens when you get bombed during a live.
So for me, it is an extra management step, and we're going to end it right after this. But if you did want to do a group, you can use it for anything you want, your hobbies, your friends, your whatever. But my personal opinion is this is a place where you start a group just for your paying customers. And that way, the people who actually love you are going to get to communicate between each other and love their before and after pictures, comment and love things and ask you when your next opening is. And they're the ones that are going to talk the best about you. Those are the ones that are supporting your life. Those are the ones that I would want to support with any answers to any questions they ever had. And listen, for those of you that are a little scared of what might happen in something like this, you get a notification every time something happens in the group. And if somebody says something you don't like, you can delete their comment or you can delete them completely out of the group and they can't cause you any more trouble. So you have complete control when you start the group or the page. And even in your own profile, you can delete that stuff. So just realize you have the power when you do it. All right, Eddie, anything you want to add to end this?
I think that's really amazing. You know, it's the thing. What's amazing to me is how powerful all of this is, way more than what I realized. You know, I've been kind of doing, I've been doing it obviously, but I didn't realize how much it really matters to everybody else. You know, a lot of these things that we do is for the intention of helping people because we want to be supportive. We want to help people. And it's been a really eye-opening and fun journey that this is how you can make social media work in a positive way, in a fun way, in a productive way. And you can actually make a difference to people that it matters for. So that's the cool thing about it. That's my thought of what I'll leave off with that.
And free.
And it's free stuff. Free is always fun, right? All right, everybody. Thank you very, very much. We're going to end it here. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys all think, what you want to see next time, and we'll go from there. Thank you, everybody.
Guys. Bye.